when you go on your phone, how quick do you go through scrolls? I know I go through fast. You could have a picture on there of something awesome, your USP that you're using, whatever you're doing. But if there's no video there, it is going to be really tough to get me to stop to look at what you're doing.
You want to do something to like catch them off guard? That's kind of what I'm hearing you say.
Exactly. We can't see it.
No, I know. Well,
There you go. Exactly. This is the stuff you need to do to get someone and wear turkey trucker hats. You need to do this kind of stuff to get someone's attention, just because it's just our eyes are just used to seeing picture, right? When you see a video, it's like, oh, what are they doing? Oh, that's cool. What's that money gun, right? Get yourself to be noticed. So Facebook Live is one of the few things that we can actually do that's free on Facebook. And it's
organic,
Welcome to Business Insights with Matt Milia. I'm your host, Matt Milia, and in this podcast, we'll talk about the real, raw, uncut business success secrets you won't find anywhere else. Follow my journey from entry level to CEO. We discuss real actionable items you can plug into your business right away. To subscribe to our weekly top tips, you can go to www.mattpodcast.com and join our community of elite high-level performers. And if you're interested in our inside sales company, you can go to www.appointmentstoday.com to jump on a free strategy call. And now, stay tuned for our podcast.
Woo! All right. It's like cash explosion. It's like cash explosion over here. What's up, everybody? It is Matt Milia, and you are you're with Kristen and myself for Business Insights, episode number 6. And that's right. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody who is on, who's tuning in. And I love the hat, Kristen.
Thank you. I'm a farmer at heart. Not really, but I have no hair left. It's just crazy. So I cut it all off.
I love it. So, Kristen, last week was an awesome week. I was able to attend the Club Wealth seminar, which was in Anaheim, and it was a blast. I'm not a huge Disney person, so I didn't go to Disney, which I know a lot of people that kind of took them by surprise because Disney was literally on our street. But I don't know, it wasn't really my thing. But we did rent a car, which was cool. We rented a fun car. We got a Tesla, which was awesome. Got to drive the crazy California traffic. And, that was fun. But I think the most fun for me was actually being able to meet really all of the different real estate agents that I've never met before, because I've noticed that, looking back in time, I've kind of hung out in the same ecosystem with the same group of realtors. And don't get me wrong, they're amazing people, but it's always good to be able to expand that ecosystem and kind of get out into other sectors of the business, get to learn about more people. And there were some people, like I got to meet Steve Sims. That was really cool. I had no idea what he was all about. And he was, he had pictures of him and, in Tesla with Elon Musk. He had pictures with him and Elton John. Yeah. Like, man, this guy is well connected. But it was definitely quite the experience. So,
sorry, for anybody who wants to know who Steve Sims is, he probably his clientele is maybe 2% of the population. He's the best concierge on the planet, basically. So if you have this fantasy thing and you're a wealthy person and you want to have this dream fantasy thing that you've always wanted to do, like a bucket list thing, that's what Steve Sims helps you do. So if you look him up, he's pretty interesting. He's a British guy, just super cool, great accent. I'm glad you liked him, Matt. I did.
Yeah, he's very cool. And I
had dinner with him.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's awesome.
At Vince Reed's VIP dinner, he was there, and he is terrific. Yeah.
He doesn't come off as somebody who, like he has many leather-bound books. His apartment reeks of rich mahogany. He doesn't come off like that. He's a super cool guy, and it's funny because he was saying how uncomfortable he was in the fact that he was wearing a suit, because he's like, that's not his normal That's not how he normally acts. But I was able to actually join his Facebook group. I did ask him to join the podcast in the group. So, I didn't get a response yet. That was like 2 days ago. So
I wonder if we could get him for an interview.
be awesome.
That'd be a dream. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be.
Well, so what I really want to deep dive into today is social media. And I mean, I actually had some really good takeaways from Steve as well as it relates to social media. But I wanted to really give you some time, Kristen, to recap a little bit about what you went through last week. And then, I want to, of course, throw some different things in. And I also want to talk about TikTok, which it's so funny because this was we had a little over 400 people in Club Wealth that were attending the event. And that was one of the main themes, was how to utilize TikTok to blow up your business. It's funny because when people hear about TikTok, they're like, oh, isn't that for children? Well, Facebook used to be for college kids. Exactly. I mean, and look at it now. I mean, Instagram used to be for people that were trying to become Instagram models or just wanted to post random pictures of the things they ate that day. I mean, you see how like these businesses evolve, and LinkedIn was really only solely for business alone. And you had to be very stuffy and overly professional. And I mean, I'm here to tell you that's not the case. So I want to go a little bit deeper into everything. But Kristen, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the strategies that we used? And I mean, we grew our Facebook page for Appointment Stay. And guys, for all of you that are watching, the reason why this is a big deal is because I had that Facebook page for 3 years. And, with the help, of course, of Kristen, Stephanie, of course, and Caitlin, we were able to take that page from, we were at 400 and we went up to like 1,200. I believe the last time I checked, it was like a little over 1,200. So, and we did this in a matter of like 6 weeks. So it's pretty awesome. So Kristen, why don't you share a little bit about how you did that?
Sure. The best thing about doing this kind of thing is doing it on your phone. The Tesla was amazing. It was like a Batmobile, you guys.
I know. I miss it. I'm gonna have to try to find something here that's somewhat similar. But except for the charging part.
It was amazing. It was beautiful. Awesome. Okay, so the coolest thing about what we did on our Facebook page, Matt, was I was able to do it on my phone. When my ex-husband and I had Kitty Emporium, when we had our business, we did so much on the phone with our cat, and Cat, we video her. So I just got really good at adding things with the phone. So you don't necessarily have to sit at your computer. You can do it. Think of it this way. If you're going to be on Facebook messing around, why not grow your page a little bit, right? Do things like work yourself. Right. So what you do, this is what we did. Now, when I started with Matt, he says, why don't you make a business profile? Which was a great idea. I have close to 5,000 friends in my personal profile, and maybe 10 of them are realtors because they were actually just friends of mine, right? So we built the professional profile. And then what I started to do is I went into Matt's profile, and usually professional profiles, they're a lot more open. They'll show you who their common friends are and things rather than a personal one. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I went into your Facebook list to see who you were friends with, and I started friending all of your friends. Then I started friending all of their friends if they were in real estate or mortgage, right? Or maybe some sort of entrepreneur. But I didn't friend people that were not in our industry. Okay, so this is the business profile. Don't let your personal feelings get into your business profile. That's what your personal profile is for. Keep it always about your industry, always professional. People sometimes go on rants, and I get it. It's frustrating and things like that. But just remember, try to keep it as professional as you can, and try to separate your business and your personal. That's the best advice I can give you. If it's too late to do that, then, obviously, who your friends are and you can censor yourself. That's fine. So when you start building this friend list of realtors and mortgage people, you start inviting them to like our page. You can do it on your page. There's actually one button that'll say invite your friends. If you have another 150 new friends, you invite them all. Some people will like it now. Some people will like it later. And it's just a systematic thing. but you can do it on your phone. If you need me to walk you through it, if you're not tech savvy and you don't really have bothered with your Facebook page, and you go, oh, I just haven't gotten to it. While you're sitting around, honestly, at Thanksgiving watching football or something, you could be just working on it. So if you want to comment or ask and say, hey, Kristen, how do I do that? I'll reach out to you and say, this is, the easiest way to do it. People that like your post for your page too, you can go in there and you can invite people to like your page as well, Matt. Remember we talked about that trick there?
Oh, yeah.
But the first thing was build the business profile, stock people that you know in the business, right? Like people that maybe you idolize, people that are maybe mentors, or you go, oh, I really like that profile. And go in there and see what kind of mutual friends they have. Because usually birds of a feather that's a good rule here. So usually big realtors have big friends that are realtors and big mortgage people and all those kinds of things. So that's who you kind of look for. What else can I tell you about that? Be patient with it and just be diligent. Everybody is with social media, it's instant gratification, right? If you're trying to build your page organically, it's going to take time. So don't get frustrated if it doesn't build right away. But if you offer value, like we started doing with this podcast, people will we're starting to generate a pretty good following on Facebook now. And a business profile doesn't have to be huge to be rewarding. We don't have to have 100,000 followers. It's great, but you could have 10,000 followers and be awesome, as long as it's good quality people. And I would say buying leads, especially on Instagram and stuff, I wouldn't do it. I've been that route with Kitty Emporium, and you're wasting money. That's just my opinion.
You're talking about buying you're talking about for you to like buy followers on Instagram?
Yeah, you can buy followers. You can do it on Facebook. Instagram's way more, but it's sort of like some algorithm and it's false followers and you're just kind of, it's not, you can do the same thing with Instagram. Find people in the like-minded, whatever industry you're in, follow those people and they will follow you back. It's really simple.
I want to piggyback on that because it's really funny. So I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and be like, wow, you have 3,200 followers on Instagram, but I don't even see you post all that often. Well, I used one of those, and I don't use it anymore, but I believe it was called Growgrass. It used to be, there was another one called Instagrass, or I can't remember the name of it, but Growgrass is, the crazy thing is I'd go on there and I'd have all kinds of people that would be interacting with me. I'd have all these people that would be following me. But what I found out was that about 80 to 90% of them were fake. They weren't real people. They were bots. They weren't even real profiles. So people would go on and they'd be liking my stuff at all hours. I'd be looking at them like, how does someone like my stuff at 3:18 in the morning? Like, that's probably not a real person on there. And then of course, that same person or that bot would post or would, put a comment on there. And it would be a really canned response. Like I would have something along the lines of, I'd have like a picture of myself in a motivational meme. And then it would be like, oh, your photos are pretty like the sunset. And I'm thinking to myself, like, who speaks like that? And secondly, it's just really strange. So I don't really know how to even respond to that. But then I would see that common thread. I'd see that common thread comment coming from this person. And I'm like, yeah, that's a bot. So I will say, Growgrass did an amazing job of blowing up my Instagram very quickly because before that, I think I had like 700 or 800 legitimate followers. And then I went all the way up to like 3,000, but I shut it off because I noticed this quick growth and I realized that no one was engaging with my stuff. Even the people that were engaging weren't even real people. So and then if I'd get a message, it wouldn't even be a message from a real person, it'd be a bot. So you really...
I can tell you one other thing too. Like if someone has artificially grown their Instagram profile, terrific, that's fine. But the thing is, I tell you what, if you want to become an influencer, people are going to watch your patterns on how, like you can go in and see these weirdo artificial jumps, right? And say like, if someone says, hey, I'll pay you $200 to go on your page for a week or whatever it is. A lot of people make money that way being an influencer, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they will track you and say, okay, well, they had this big artificial jump and now it's kind of dropped off and things like that. So yes, it does take longer to grow your page or your Instagram profile or whatever organically, but I mean, it's way more worth it. You know, Matt's done something artificial with his Instagram. I did it with Kitty Emporium, and it just kind of made you feel like, yeah, I've got stuff, but it really doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It's kind of like opening a Christmas present. It's just a bunch of packing peanuts and there's nothing else in there. It's kind of like,
right.
Yeah, it's
so true.
It's no substance, unfortunately.
So, and I want to kind of piggyback on something that you said, because I want everybody to really get some insight on this. So the first thing that you had said was that you want to keep your business and your personal and professional separated. And I do agree with that, but I also think that with your business, what you want to do, you always want to post. So if you're Facebook, by the way, guys, you want to post to your Facebook business page first if it's business related, and then share it to your personal page. And the reason why I say that is, and I think what you were talking about with keeping your business and your professional separated was if you're out partying out on the town, and you're whatever it is that you're doing, you don't want to per se post that on your business page. But your business posts, I believe, are really good to share, because sometimes there are going to be people that maybe don't necessarily know that you are in a specific business. Like for us, for inside sales, prime example, we run an inside sales company. I can't tell you how many times I've had people, we've probably generated anywhere between 7 to 15 leads over the past 6 weeks, just doing this podcast. And it's crazy because people will be like, oh yeah, I've seen you on I've seen you on Facebook, or, oh, I've seen you on LinkedIn, or, oh, I've seen you on Instagram, which, by the way, the most important thing with your business and your professional is you want to make sure that you post a business first, because then you can either run an ad or boost a post. And we'll get a little bit more into that, but you can run an ad or boost a post based on your business profile, based on you shooting a video or whatever it was. And then you can share that to your personal page so that people can see it, engage with it, and then go and like your business page. That's what I noticed. I think where our growth has really blown up as far as our number of likes and people that are actually following the page. Would you agree on that?
Oh, absolutely. Well, the difference is, think of it this way. When you go on your phone, right? Mm-hmm. All right. How quick do you go through scrolls? I know I go through
fast.
Okay. You could have a picture on there of something awesome, your USP that you're using, whatever you're doing. But if there's no video there, it is going to be really tough to get me to stop to look at what you're doing.
So you want to do something to sort of like catch them off guard. That's kind of what I'm hearing you say.
Exactly. You want something. That's a Billie Jean technique. Billie Jean will run videos. Exactly. We can't see it.
No, I know. Well,
so there you go. Exactly. This is the stuff you need to do to catch someone, and wear, turkey trucker hats. You need to do this kind of stuff to get someone's attention, just because. And it's not that, it's just our eyes are just used to seeing picture, right? When you see a video, it's like, oh, okay. Oh, what are they doing? Oh, that's cool. What's that money gun, right? And then you get yourself to be noticed. So true. Facebook Live is one of the few things that we can actually do that's free on Facebook. We can't advertise for free. We have to boost posts. We have to do all these things, right? So Facebook Live is one of the few things that, for now, Mark Zuckerberg, but that's one of the few things that Facebook we can still do that's absolutely free. And it's
organic,
It is. It's organic. And look what it's doing for us. This is only show number 6, right?
Right.
So
it's true.
Not like you've been doing this for 6 months. I mean, this is 6 weeks. That's it.
Well, but there's also a couple of things that I want to just add on really quick too. And Stephanie, you have to grab their attention to stop the scroll. So very true. And the funny thing is, we did that in real life in California, where we had, so the person that was coordinating the event was, just rotating around, talking to some of the other, basically partners that were there. And as she was going through talking to people, we were just sitting there, Stephanie and I were talking amongst ourselves, and the main guy that was up on the stage, the MC, so to speak, saw us, and he saw the money gun, and he's like, oh my God, this is so cool. He's like, can I shoot it? We're like, yeah, go ahead. So he shoots it for a moment. He goes, wow. He's like, can I bring this up on stage? Please do. Yes. So he goes, well, if I bring this up on stage, can you write out a quick little cue card of something I can say just to plug in your business and tell people to come visit you? Well, of course, absolutely. So give him a little cue card. He goes up there, tells people about us. I mean, we literally collected over, I want to say it's close to 80, 90 names out of that 400-person event. And the 80, 90 names that we collected, a lot of those people were there with teams. So, I mean, we probably got a good 40 to 50% of the participants to actually come to our booth and talk with us, which is unheard of because most of these events, people, I mean, it was funny because I felt like the DirecTV guy, like inside of the wholesale market, that's like, hey, who are you using for your cable provider? And they're just like, no, stay away. So, I mean, it was one of those things where, and I mean, again, we were just there having conversations with people. We weren't trying to get people to, we weren't trying to pitch anybody on anything. People would come up to me and be like, pitch me. And I'm like, look, you're either going to convince yourself that it's worth it or you're not. I'm not going to pitch you anything, but I will talk to you a little bit about what your goals are. And that went over very well. So, but again, getting them to stop the scroll, or in our case, stop the walking, that was what that helped big time.
Absolutely.
So having a prop.
Think about it. Everybody knew who you were that sat in that room.
Yeah.
Whether they wanted to come or talk to you or not, everybody knows who you were because of that money gun. So that is setting yourself apart in something easy and fun that other people got excited about.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
yeah.
So kind of taking a step back here, I mean, this is something you also said was about, making sure that you realize that you got to put time into this, that it doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of times what people expect is that they'll go on to these social media platforms. They expect that I'm going to start using TikTok or I'm going to start using Instagram and I'm going to have immediate overnight success. And what a lot of people don't realize is it's all about consistency. And that's even like with Stephanie and myself, Caitlin, and you even, Kristen, when it comes to the team dynamic and posting great relevant content, we always like to try to make sure that we do it every single day. And, of course, we don't do Saturdays and Sundays because it is business, but we like to do Monday through Friday. And then we also like to make sure that we have the same themes on a daily basis. So when I say having a same theme, like, for example, our Monday is Motivational Monday. And Motivational Monday, everyone loves Motivational Monday. I am going to start shooting videos for Motivational Monday as well, because I feel like because I want to actually be able to reuse it and put it on multiple platforms. But the ones that we aren't able to put the video on, we'll do something different that day. We'll do something else on TikTok. We'll do something else on any of the other platforms. So, I mean, and I'm going to go into TikTok and how you can actually start using that and getting a little bit more following. Now, just so everyone knows, I mean, I started using TikTok a few weeks ago. I've got, I want to say, close to 60 followers. It's not a lot. I have not blown it up, but I can tell you I've tested a lot of different things, and I can tell you some of the things that have been working and some that have not. Before we go, I'm going to share 9 different tips that you can utilize on TikTok, but also on Facebook and other social media platforms to increase your following and get more engagement. Before I go into that, though, Kristen, did you have anything else that you wanted to add as far as us growing the page?
I would say just more video. Now you also want it, less is more sometimes with that. You don't want to be constantly on there where they're like, oh my God, these people again. You know what I mean? Like, right. So, but if you even if you wanted to do like a Tuesday tip, right? You have your video for Tuesday tips. So Monday motivation could be like, you at the gym or you at, whatever. It could be anything. And it doesn't necessarily have to be business involved. It can also be, okay, I've got to get up and go do, go work out today or go do whatever. Or, I don't feel well, but I got to get up and get out there. Motivational posts are always good because someone's always in need of it. Right. I know when I see them, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's good. It's like kind of like a cup of coffee you're handing somebody. Right. And you're like, okay, yeah, I feel this way too. So people relate to those. I know Vince Reed, who's a huge lead guy. That's where I met Steve Sims at his event. He said his most popular posts out of the week, his motivational posts are on Wednesday, and he said they're through the roof. He said they're like 3 and 4 times as popular as all of his other posts.
Well, you know why that is? It's because it's a deposit. It's not an extraction.
Yep.
And I'll explain to what, for all you guys that are watching, you should have on a daily basis what we call the 3-to-1 deposit to extraction ratio, where you essentially are making 3 high-level deposits. So, like, for example, a deposit might be, let's say that let's say you sell car insurance, and one of your videos is about, hey, this is how you can negotiate with your car insurance representative. These are some red flags that they look out for. Give 2 or 3 really quick tips about how to be the go-to car insurance person and how to take these 3 tips that the person gave and then plug it into savings so that they don't have to pay as much on their insurance. So that is, that would be your first deposit. The next deposit could be something motivational for the day, something that, helps get people out of a funk. And you did one motivational post, and then you have one other post that is about how to shop around effectively for the most cost-effective car insurance, how to get the best deal on car insurance, and you give one really quick tip. And then after that, at the end of the day, or whenever you find to be the most useful, you ask to extract, hey, listen, if you want to shop around and get the best rates, I'll do that for you. Go to my website. You throw that little call to action in there. Now the people are like, okay, well, they gave me 3 really valuable things. And the 3 valuable things that you give, the person needs to be able to actually plug that into their business and see some sort of results coming from it. And it's infusing that goodwill, but it's also giving them that schematic, that roadmap that they need to be able to plug in the simple technique that you've shared with them to help them grow. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Kristen?
Absolutely. I mean, when you start giving value, and you're doing it on a consistent basis, it's content. Yep. A friend of ours that I had, his name is Marv, and Marv was a Billie Jean guy, and Marv will do all these, he's a funnel builder. Okay. He builds funnels, builds businesses for people. He got I want to say like a $250,000 to $300,000 client because he had so much content on YouTube. The guy saw him, and Marv's got tattoos. He's got a big beard. He's like alternative kind of looking guy. And
right.
I called him and said, I want you. He says, you're brilliant. I watched all your stuff. The more content you have, the more you will reap the benefit from it. But it won't be, sometimes it's immediate. I'm not saying it can't be. But I mean, that was probably 18 months after he started. Wow. So I mean, it builds up and it doesn't go away. It doesn't.
No, it's so true. And that's something where it's funny because a lot of people ask me, well, what should I post? What should my content be about? Or I love the ones that are always saying, oh, well, I only have so much to talk about and then I can't talk about it again. That is so untrue. I mean, I can't tell you how many countless hours of Gary Vee videos, how many countless hours of Frank Kern videos, of Billie Jean. Most of them talk about some of the same stuff. For example, Gary Vee talks about how much of a miracle it is that we're all alive, that we're like, there's like a 1 in 10 trillion chance that we're alive, and we should feel fortunate and blessed every single day. And I mean, that's just a common theme that he has. I mean, he talks about it in almost every one of his videos, but people don't stop watching his stuff because of it. So it's more about making sure that whatever you have, even if you talk about the exact same thing over and over again, you're going to have different people that watch your videos at certain times. That's why in the very beginning of videos, I usually try to use a prop, something that's going to be eye capturing, so that people will stop scrolling and be like, oh, what is this guy talking about?
Exactly.
That's a part of it. Oh, I'm sitting here playing with this thing too. See, this is why I can't have fun props around me. But the other part here, what I want to share with everybody that's watching is that there are common threads and common themes on every single social media platform. So for us, I mean, we literally post to, I want to say now we're going on to almost 9 different platforms that we're posting on. And we're not counting podcasts yet. That will actually be, we've got a platform that is going to be putting that over to 2 or 3 different more. But we're doing YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, those are the main staples. And of course, we also do Snapchat. And those are just the main ones that we're doing. It's not even, there's other things that we're doing as well to help grow the following and helping really get our name out there. But one of the things that you have to do is, number one, you got to be consistent. And whether whether you come up with a daily theme or you post at a certain time every single day, your audience needs to know when to look out for your stuff. That's why it's so important to me. I mean, I am super sick right now, but I'm still on here. You wouldn't know. But it was important to me to make sure that, hey, 12 o'clock today, we're on. We're ready to roll. We're ready to add some value. And I think that's so important to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do for everybody that's on here, though, is I want to give you guys 9 tips for TikTok that work. Now, again, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. I'm not a TikTok master. I actually did a lot of research before even jumping on here, but I will tell you that TikTok's where it's the next media outlet to blow up. And I mean, I'm starting to notice that the trend of it, when I first got on, I mean, it was a little weird because there was like all these young kids on there. I'm like, oh God, this is weird. I don't feel right being on this platform, but I just would post my content and go on my way. What I didn't realize was that I started to notice the demographics and the trends and people, and I started to notice ages and different people that were on here. I'm like, wow, this is evolving. And I'm watching it right before my own 2 eyes, where we're starting to see more people go on there for business. We're starting to see more people go on there for entertaining, of course, is a big part of there. And that was one of the big takeaways from Steve Sims was, and this is a huge tip for every platform, you want to accomplish the 3 E's, which is engage, entertain, and educate. If you can get them to engage with your video, they're going to stop and listen and watch. If you can entertain them, they're going to stay on there. And if you educate them, they can take all of those great tips, tricks, and strategies that you give them and plug them into their business. And now all of a sudden you become the go-to person for whatever business it is that you're in, that you're selling to.
Yep. That's exactly right. And yeah, it's just consistency, and you just keep chipping away. That's what organic social media is. Now, now you can boost posts and honestly, yeah, you can do that. I mean, you can boost posts. You can put something up there for $20 and see if you can get some action on there.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, honestly, it's just so funny because I'm friends with about 2,500 realtors now on my business profile. And I mean, I mentioned Todd Crockett last week. Like, Todd's really good. His feed is a big mix of stuff. He's always on the go. And to me, like, when you see someone like that, that subliminally, did I say that right? Subliminally means he's successful. That's like, oh, look at this guy. He's here. He's in the Keys. He's out with his kids. He's doing all this fun stuff. He's got the brown shirt on. And it's like, okay, this guy is not only a realtor, he's a well-rounded individual, and look how successful he is. That immediately you get that vibe from when you see his feed.
So true.
Like, that's a really good example. And he does a mix of everything. And that's really, it just needs more variance. Even my own, I'm going to start working on my own personal business page. Like, I want to go, and put more video on there. I only have enough pictures. So I also want to practice what I preach as well. But if there's so many realtors out there now, and there's so much competition, use video to try to separate yourself, to stop that scroll. Just do it.
And
it's terrifying, but do it,
It's funny. There's a team in Arizona that I'm coaching right now. And I mean, we went through everything from how to overcome objections all the way down to now content strategy. And, of course, they love content strategy the most because that's the most fun. Overcoming objections is great, but it's, it's that nitty gritty. It's that everyday stuff that people don't necessarily always want to get into. So we've gone through with them. And I mean, it's amazing. When I asked them, said, hey, how many realtors in your marketplace are using video? They maybe were able to name 1 or 2 out of a marketplace that had over 2,000 to 3,000 real estate agents. I mean,
look huge. How much of an impact can you make if it's 1 or 2?
Right.
Okay. I mean, like, I'll see MLS listings that are beautiful, absolutely gorgeous homes, right? But it's home after home after home, and all of the pictures are the same, shot the same way, same copy, same everything. Right? It's all very, okay. So, like, start taking a video of your listings.
Right. So what I wanted to do here is what I want to do for everyone is I want to give them kind of this 9 tips to success.
Oh, yeah.
So the first thing that you guys want to do, and I'm going to actually throw these up on the screen. So the first thing is you want to find your formula. And what I mean for finding your formula, no, that doesn't mean you got to be doing mathematics here or anything like that. You just got to find what are you best at. So meaning, like for me, I'm usually very good at giving great tips. I can give some good strategies. I've got some humor. I can throw some funny stuff in there and get people to laugh. But of course, there are certain things that I do struggle with that I certainly wouldn't go into. So, I mean, you've got to be very conscientious of what you feel you're best at. If you feel like you're best at doing, I know this is totally outlandish, but makeup tutorials, which I mean, you see those all over the place. If you're best at doing makeup tutorials, do makeup tutorials. If you're best at, giving people business tips and strategies and advice, do that. Whatever you are, or if you're best at, making jokes or telling stories and getting people to engage and watch and laugh at your stories, then do that. You need to make sure that you find your formula. And whatever the formula is, and again, guys, I'm giving you ones, these are strictly for TikTok. And again, I'm going to talk to you how some of these will also intertwine. But finding your formula is also consistency, being consistent, knowing what to post and when to post it. And that's another tip we'll talk on. The second one that I want to share with everyone here is research. Make sure, and when I say research, I'm not talking about where you need to go and where you need to go and look at statistics online and figure out all these things. No, when I say research what people find, research where people are getting their viewers from, where are they getting their traffic, where are they getting their followers, where are they getting the most traffic, the most engagement. And when the big thing with researching as well is that there are certain songs that people absolutely have on their TikTok that they play constantly, consistently as themes to their video. So use some of that. If you can use some of those songs and then mix in some different stuff, it's going to help you separate yourself from some of the other people that are out there that are putting out content. The next big one, and this one actually goes for every single platform that's out there. It's being relevant. How are you separating yourself in terms of in terms of like what you're posting? You want to be relevant with what's trending right now. Something that's trending right now is, unfortunately, it's the first thing that came to my mind was the whole impeachment thing. And I got to there was an agent that actually used this as a genius, and he put out there, hey, are you thinking about impeaching your realtor? And he got a lot of traffic on it. I mean, that was cool. I was like, wow, that is genius to think through that. So, but he used things that are relevant. It's what's trending right now. It's relevant. So
True.
Those are just some things that, to keep in mind. You want to find relevant trending topics. By the way, inside of TikTok, you can actually go over to what's called the discovery page, and you can find out what's relevant. And then you can also find the next one that I'm going to give you, which is hashtags. Hashtags are huge on the only platform I feel like hashtags really don't do as much is Facebook. And I can't say that it's not effective on Facebook, but I notice Instagram uses them a lot. Twitter uses a ton of them. And really, you're going through all of the other platforms, especially TikTok. It's these hashtags that are going to get you that following. It's going to get you the people that you want to look at your stuff. And what you want to do is you want to use trending hashtags. So, for example, you would do like for you. Or for your page, it would be something like for business. Those trending hashtags, plugging those in, are going to get you those followers, get you the more people to engage with your stuff. It does make a huge difference. The next one, and this is actually on every single platform, is your timing. Timing is everything. And there are so many times where I'll see somebody post something at 1, 2, 3 in the morning. No one's up at that time. And the people that are up at that time, they're probably not looking at your business related stuff. So timing is huge. You want to make sure, like with Facebook, prime example, if you're going to post between 5 and 8 a.m. is usually your business entrepreneurs. If you're posting about working out, you're posting about your time at the gym, whatever the case may be, maybe you're doing something motivational, you're going to get a good amount of engagement from entrepreneurs. If you post, between 8 o'clock and 11, you might have a lot of stay-at-home moms or dads that are, they run their business from home, or maybe they're watching, maybe they're taking care of their children. They might be scrolling on there. You're going to see likes and engagement in most cases from them, because that's the time of the day that there's a little bit of a downtime for them so they can look at their phone. The lunch rush is huge. Usually between 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock, you'll get a pretty good amount of engagement between lunch. And then the very last part of the day, pretty much between 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock, is when you're going to see a ton of engagement from Facebook, because that's the end of the day. Most people are starting to kind of scroll around. They're getting ready to shut down for the day, so they're scrolling through Facebook and looking at stuff. You're going to get a lot of engagement posting at that time. With TikTok, it's between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. is what we noticed, where you get the most engagement. So timing's everything, though. Every single social media platform has a time that you should post. And this is all where that consistency part comes in, making sure that you stay consistent and you do it on a daily basis.
There are, if someone really, now, Matt, I don't know, do you have anything like the Hootsuite where you can schedule all your posts? Do you have any software like that you use?
I'm glad you brought that up. So Hootsuite is, I don't want to promote Hootsuite. I will tell you that. No, you're good. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I've used Hootsuite. It kills your engagement. A lot of these auto posters that most people will use will kill off your engagement.
Will they?
So you got to be really, really careful with those. There are a couple of different ones that I've made notes on. And of course, you asked me such a good question. I don't even remember the names of the sites. I got to look these up. But now that I'm just taking a look at these, these were ones that you could go in and you could literally go in and it could help kind of shortcut the process. There was one that was out there that you could actually post your videos to a couple of different platforms all at once. That certainly would, it would definitely shortcut the long road to success when it comes to social media. But social media is a long road. It takes time. A lot of people would ask me, how much time should I commit to this thing every day? I'd say commit anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour a day. It's just because, you know what, and replace that time that you used to spend messing around in your email and just commit it to social media. Because a lot of times, social media is going to be the new go-to place for business. It's going to be where people are doing business. It's going to be where people are engaging, because it's not just family members you engage with. And it's funny because I can't tell you how many friends I have that are like already at 5,000 friends. And I look at some of their lists and I'm like, some of these don't even look like real people. So I'm always very conscious and careful about making sure that whoever I accept into my friends' ecosystem, that they are people that I either know personally or I want to do business with. Go ahead.
About that. I'm glad you brought something up like that. If you are doing that, look for people that their profile is older than, now, mind you, I made a new profile, okay? But sometimes those spammy ones can look kind of odd. Like they'll only have a profile picture, they'll only have, and it's always like some really good looking person.
Right.
And they start messaging you and stuff like, so just be aware on that. That one, it's kind of that Nigerian blah, blah, blah. Like I'm the Nigerian prince who needs money to whatever.
Right.
Kind of that thing. Just be careful on that one. But, that I've heard from sometimes even younger people too, they'll be like, well, I don't really do social media. And it's like, but that's where a lot of your clients are. So, now, if you have a team or something and you don't really want to post, then have someone do it that enjoys doing it.
Yep.
And have someone help you out with it. You can always do that, but I would say designate it too. Designate it to people and delegate it you can have a consistent basis. Do that.
I have at a minimum, and this would be on the low end, not even counting myself, 3 people that work on social media, including you, Kristen. Because you post stuff for us too. But we've got, Stephanie that oversees everything. We have Caitlin that goes in and does all the video editing and makes the videos look pretty. And then we have, you, Kristen, that you put your memes and, different touches and things on there to help, bolster some engagement. Then Stephanie just directs everything. And then she does the actual, in a lot of cases, she'll do the actual posting where she'll write up the actual blurb, explaining what it is, and then she'll put the post out there. And I mean, without her, and I mean, without the whole team, I mean, yeah, it would be really difficult to do it all myself. But if you are doing it yourself, it's totally fine. You just have to make sure that you block out an hour every single day and you focus solely on that. And whether it's beginning of the day or whenever, you got to do it.
Yeah, I mean, even if you maybe like a person that really doesn't want to really do that on social media, have your kid do it. I mean, kids are like really good on that kind of stuff. Go and they'll get you some followers immediately. Just say, hey, you know what? I need you to do this for an hour for me. You know what I mean? If you trust your kid, have them go in. Right. Honest to goodness, that really works. Really works. Your kid will have your Instagram profile like whiz together in no time if they know what to do.
It's so true. And it's funny because my little cousins will like run circles around us. Like they're the ones that actually introduced us to TikTok. I had no idea what it was. Like 3-4 months ago, I didn't know what it was. And then all of a sudden I started like looking and I go, wow, this thing's pretty amazing. So yeah, it's so true. The next one that I want to give here. So this is tip number 6 is your production quality is key. And let me kind of explain that. So, I mean, you know, we're all the way from one extreme to the next. Like we've got great cell phones, you know, we've got the iPhone, we don't have the 11. The 11 is pretty cool, I've heard. But we have the 10, and then I have the iPhone 8. So I'm a little bit behind. But, I mean, Stephanie also has an entire professional production studio. And, I mean, we use a mix of different elements. But the one thing I will tell you, and actually even for the podcast and for videos on the computer, I have this Logitech C920, which is like a high-definition 1080p camera. I would not use I wouldn't use my personal, like I have a Mac, but I wouldn't use the actual camera that's built in because it's not as good a quality. So you want to make sure that it doesn't have to be super high end, but it has to be something that's not detracting away from your message. If people can't hear you and the audio is terrible, or people can't see you and your face is like totally out of focus, or they can't even see what you look like, it does make a huge difference. What were you going to say, Kristen?
Well, like the first podcast we did where I was in jail, I was
Yes.
So like lighting is everything too. So I basically just turned myself around in my room and I'm fine. You know? Yeah. Watch your lighting. And the one thing I can tell you is that Matt and I sort of match now. Now his room is always lighter than mine. But try to, if you are going to do this, try to have it where, you know, you're somewhat the same kind of tone. If you can, in positioning and things like that, if you are going to do an interview or split screen or something like that.
Absolutely.
I tell you, a gimbal is a good one to do. We had a gimbal. Gimbals are really cool. Like if you are going to do Motivational Mondays and you want to run around, a gimbal, you can probably grab one for about $100 like that. If you were going to make listing videos, oh my goodness, because a gimbal, you're not walking with the phone and it looks like that. It's like, so that's a good investment too. 100%. If you are going to do videos, do a gimbal. Yeah. If you're going to move.
And Stephanie brought up a really good point. Lighting is everything. Absolutely. It makes a world of difference. That's for sure. So the last couple ones I have here. So the next one I want to share with you guys is posting often. And I want to just touch on this really quick. It's so funny because I can't tell you how many times people will get all bent out of shape because maybe they don't have the same number of viewers, or maybe they don't have and I would just put it out there. We don't have the same amount of viewers today because it's the day before Thanksgiving. I wasn't really expecting it. This for me was more about being consistent. I mean, we've had times where we had double-digit viewers and over 1,000 people that will look at the videos. I mean, which is amazing. But I don't do it just so that I can have more and more viewers. I do it so that I can actually add some value. And the more that you post, the more consistent you are with your posting, the better off it's going to be. We live in this society of this instant gratification where we need to say, oh my gosh, if they're not liking all my stuff, if they're not consistently commenting, then what is it that we're doing here? Then we should quit. And people do it so much. I mean, it blows my mind. I have over 20 videos on TikTok, but the 20 videos I have, I mean, I probably get an average view rate of anywhere between 100 to 200 people that'll watch the video. I'm, about 6-7 likes on there. But if I was really, if that was where I put all of my value at, then I would immediately say, oh, wow, I should stop posting here. Here's the thing. Your long-term consistent strategy is going to beat out the person that's trying to go viral instantly every single time. Because the person that's trying to hit it out of the park, I mean, you're maybe one time out of 100,000 that you're going to hit something that's going to go viral. So the best thing that you can do is stay consistent and realize that some of your stuff's going to flop. So tweak it and test it. You have to. I mean, tweak and test your messaging, tweak and test your videos. You have to. It's what's going to get you to that next level. So
absolutely. Yeah. And remember, these are all canned. So someone could be checking this out, Thursday after eating a bunch of turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, what did they say? Was there anything good in there? And then there's all this really good Facebook and TikTok stuff.
So true.
Tips that are just easy and free. Yep.
Everyone likes free tips. So the next one's interaction. I mean, and I'll explain what I mean by this. So this one baffles me. And I mean, I've watched some very, very, I almost would call them like the Facebook czars and the gurus or the social media gurus, where people will comment on their stuff and they'll like it and they don't respond. Like, what the hell are you doing? Respond to them, acknowledge them, like their comment. Thank you so much. I don't care if you like the person, you don't like the person. It doesn't matter. It's interaction. It's social media. You're supposed to be interacting with your people, period. Every single time when I get off, by the way, when I get off of these calls, it's every time I'm off of this, I'm thinking, okay, how do I go back into this and say, okay, let me go ahead and add some commentary. Let me respond to anybody that made comments. Let me like what they said. Let me put a quick reply in there. Let me ask them a question so that I can get them to make more comments on my stuff. Because here's the thing, Facebook's algorithm, and really every single social media's algorithm, is all about interaction. So what do I mean by that? Well, if I post a video about how to be the greatest business entrepreneur ever in the 21st century, and it's the most amazing video, I gave some amazing actionable things that were original, no one's ever heard before. If I get a small grouping of people that start liking it and comment on it, but I don't comment back and I don't like their comments, I don't say anything to them, what will end up happening is you will move to what we call the side panel of death. And that's, Facebook has a side panel of death where, and I mean, Kristen, I'm sure you've seen it, where you post something and it just totally flops and you're like, I thought that was funny. What the hell? Or like, I thought that was relevant. I don't understand. A lot of times it's because of whatever you did on your last post. And it's not always like this, but there are times where if you, let's say on your last post, you didn't like people's stuff or you didn't comment on what they said, then you get penalized because you're not interacting. It's social media. You got to interact. So
I think with the business page too, don't they? Aren't they even more strict?
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah. It's not like your own personal stuff. It's a business page.
Yep. So true. So, and I'll leave you guys, for sake of time, I'll leave you guys with the very last one. It's be original. What I mean by being original is, a lot of times I'll see people recycling posts from other people, or, I mean, there's always these different trends that I noticed that go on. One of them was, there was this one in real estate that was like, if you were to move tomorrow, and this is a brand new one, by the way, guys, so it's funny, you may not have even seen it yet, but if you were to move tomorrow, what would some must-haves be that you would need in your new home? And I mean, I've watched it go from like one person to like 100 people. And it's like, okay, guys, I mean, it's good that you're doing that, but try to be somewhat original with it as well. Asking good, engaging questions will definitely get you more traffic. One of the questions that I asked, and I mean, it had probably over 500 or 600 comments and over 100 likes. And, it was, if you could start over and do it all again, what would you have told your past self about what you were going to be facing in the future? Or if there was one thing that you could take back, or that you could take away from your life, what would that one thing be? And how would you plug it into your real estate business? I mean, these are things that people love those engaging, you ask good questions, and you get people to really dig into your post or dig into your social media, and it makes a world of difference. So yeah, I mean, we could go on for a long time about all these, but I mean, for sake of time, I definitely want to I think we gave away a lot of great stuff today. By the way, just so everybody knows, I did put inside of our comments a direct access to Kristen's personal Calendly. So if you guys have questions or you want to schedule a call, maybe you want to talk about inside sales, it is in the comment section, and I will just post that up here. It's not a pretty link. See, we got to get a prettier link than that.
Oh, yeah, look at that. That's like, wow. That's
right.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. If anybody really just wants to talk about, what they want to do for 2020, even, the way I see it, let's talk about it, that way, because a lot of people, if they want to hire an ISA and they've never done it before, there are some things you need. Like you need a dialer, you need a good CRM, there's some things that you'll want to do beforehand. So if you have any questions like that, that stuff is just as important as hiring us. We can't do it without that kind of thing. Right. So if you have questions like, okay, where would I start? And, kinds of suggestions. I do want to hire an ISA, but there are other things I need first. If you need advice on that, just let me know. I mean, that's absolutely fine. We can have a consultation about it. It's no problem.
Yeah. And just something that I want to throw in as well, also knowing when the right time to hire an ISA is, because there are so many times where, people just get concerned about jumping on calls thinking, oh, it's going to be some sort of a pitch-a-thon. And I mean, it couldn't be anything further from that. And Kristen will tell you, I mean, we turn down more people than we accept because I would much rather make sure that everybody that comes in that utilizes our services is getting the most value out of it. So, anyways,
we don't strong arm here. We don't do that.
No.
We know, I've told people we're right for you. And then I've told people like, yeah, you're not ready for us, or it's not a good fit for whatever reason. So true. Don't ever think that that you're just going to get pitched. Yeah. Because we just don't do business that way. We could, not ethically or anything. It just doesn't seem right. It's not savory to do it that way, in my opinion.
Todd jumped on, shout out, graciously accepted. Well, thank you, Todd. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody who is on.
Go Buckeyes. Yes. Beat Michigan. Yes.
Sorry for any Michigan fans in here.
Sorry.
Not sorry. All right. Anyways, hey guys, have an awesome Thanksgiving. Kristen, thank you as always for jumping on. I believe that there was a lot of amazing takeaways. And guys, we are going to, just so that everyone knows, within the next couple of weeks, we will have a site that will be dedicated to our podcast and will actually be streaming live on iTunes and Spotify and some amazing other places. But you can also access everything on our website. So that will be up and running soon. But in the meantime, have an awesome Thanksgiving, and we will catch you on the next one.
Take care. Thanks, everybody.